Hi everyone. This video is for my technical writing class. As we are in week 4 learning about the writing process and types of reports, I want to get a video out to talk about the formal report draft assignment, which is due Monday the 22nd. I'm sorry to make this video kind of late in the week with the deadline approaching. I've been gross sick all week. That's all right. Let's get through this. So let me share the screen and we'll talk about a few things. All right, so last week was all about APA in-text citations, putting together references. We worked on the summary and the annotated bibliography. This week, we had the outline revision assignment due on Saturday. All that really was asking you to do was to improve upon your original outline, continuing to kind of build and plan your paper. And now we're going to be talking about the formal report draft assignment, which is your first real composition effort to bring together your outlining, your planning, your research, all of that into one composition. It is still very much just a draft, as you'll see in a minute when we talk about it. And it's going to be treated as a beginning draft in a lot of ways, but it's worth getting a jump on, right? We also have the chapter 4 and 8 reading test due Tuesday the 23rd. So let's take a look at the formal report draft assignments. If you go into course content and you look at, so here was the outline revision assignment. And then here we have the formal report assignment. So it says for this assignment, you will write a first draft of your research report. The purpose of a first draft is to begin to connect your ideas and get them down on paper. And that is very much where we're at, and kind of what I'm looking for at this point is progress, essentially, much more so than I am looking for perfection, if that makes sense. So your first draft serves as a tool to try out a plan for organizing and refining your ideas, to determine if further research is needed, and to receive some feedback or suggestions for making improvements or changes. Your draft should closely follow your outline, except that now you'll begin to compile the information into an organized paper format with full paragraphs and complete sentences. The primary focus for this draft should be content, developing your topic ideas, integrating supporting information from your research, and citing information appropriately. Writing mechanics and formatting your paper, although important, will not be the primary emphasis at this point. Guidelines for submitting your draft. You need to have, in regards to content and structure, have an introduction, have a body consisting of main point paragraphs, and have a conclusion. Throughout all of this, there is no real page minimum, page maximum at this point. I would say shoot for a minimum of 5 paragraphs. What I mean by that is have an introduction, have 3 body paragraphs, and have a conclusion. At minimum, you could get away with having shorter than that for the draft. But the essential idea is the more you have on paper for the draft, the more I can offer feedback and comments and guide you, so that you have a better draft and a better opportunity to improve upon this draft later on down the road. Paper format. Margins need to be 1 inch on all sides. You need to write an APA paper. It says here fonts, acceptable fonts, 11 point. None of this, I don't understand why this is in this. None of this is acceptable. The only font that works in APA, or really any academic font or any academic assignment, is 12-point font Times New Roman. All of your work should be in 12-point font Times New Roman. You need to have your paper double spaced, and you need to indent the first line of every paragraph. You need to have references, a minimum of 2 to 3 credible sources integrated into your paper. That means that you're using proper APA in-text citations and that you have a proper APA reference page. Mechanics aren't weighed too heavily, except, still you need to do your best to be writing with proper mechanics. For a formal report like this, that means writing in third-person point of view the entire way. No first-person I, me, my, we statements, and absolutely no second-person you, your statements. Okay, let's take a look at the actual rubric. So if I click into here, let me bring up the rubric real quick. All right, so here's what we're looking at for the rubric. Exemplary, so the first thing you're graded on is structure and organization. Exemplary is a draft that demonstrates clear and well-developed paper sections. So like I said, you have a clear intro, you have a clear body, you have a clear conclusion, and you're developing those things. and that you have a good thesis, right? We want to have that argumentative thesis statement that your whole paper is kind of built around. Content development, you have a clear thesis again, that your topic is well developed and consistent with the thesis, incorporating specific evidence and some original thought. One thing that happens a lot when you're writing a research paper is that you'll have a thesis statement. And then as you do more research, the actual argument that you're making becomes more specific or changes in some way. That's totally fine, but just change your thesis to match up with it, right? Sources, that you're effectively integrating relevant and specific information from more than 3 high quality sources. I know it says more than 3 here, but the assignment says 2 to 3, right? So again, that you're integrating research properly is what I'm looking for. And again, that integration of research means APA format, APA in-text citations, APA reference. Formatting, that you're following APA guidelines, and then writing mechanics. Okay, so that's the rubric, and that is the formal report assignment. I do want to show you briefly what I've put this in comments on a lot of people's papers over the past week or two. Guidance recommending people check out this website. This is OWL Purdue APA. OWL standing for Online Writing Lab, Purdue University, right? This is really the best guide for APA that I've found online. They keep their website up to date with the latest APA manuals that get released by the APA people themselves. Things that you can learn from this website. If you scroll down, you will notice that it has guides on in-text citations, guides on how to format your references, and then it also has guides, it has sample papers. So if we click on one of the sample papers, you can see either you can follow the professional paper or the student paper, but you can see sort of what is expected, what should be in your paper. Cover pages that look like this with a title, your name, kind of the department, the program information, my name as a professor or as a teacher, all that sort of stuff. Specifically, make sure that you are getting this APA format in. If you kind of go into style introduction, you can click on the APA formatting and style guide, and it will break down everything that is really required of you. APA manuals does not specify a specific font. And it, again, even OWL Purdue is listing these other fonts. I really don't know why. Times New Roman 12-point font has been the standard of academic fonts. I would really not ever recommend you straying from that, just because I'll tell you a true story. I had professors in college that if you were to have done the wrong font or the wrong font size, so like let's say that you did Times New Roman 11-point font, they would have taken a point off for every single word. So automatic failure, right? Crazy things like that. So keep it set to the format. I realize that things like font and all of these like nitpicky formatting things seem silly and kind of like they shouldn't matter that much. And I mean, to an extent, I agree. But PIMA uses APA format, and it's important, especially if you go for more advanced degrees or you start doing like publishing academic research. It's important to follow the formatting correctly. So make sure you set up your paper properly. That means you're having a title, you have a header with page numbers. If you're using a professional paper, which I would recommend, you have a running head like this up in the top, which is basically just a shortened version of your title. Either way is really fine. Make sure you have a proper cover page, then things to learn and make sure you are doing correctly: in-text citations. Remember, APA uses parenthetical in-text citations like this one, where you have the author's last name and comma, and then the year of publication in the parentheses. It is important to note that all of your direct quotations should have signal phrases such as this, according to Jones, and then the parentheses with the year of publication, or Jones, year of publication found. You cannot really just stick a direct quote into a paper without one of these lead-in phrases. The reason is that it changes the voice. It's like you're talking and then all of a sudden here's a quote without any lead-in. And that voice change can be kind of jarring. It also is sort of robbing. We want your voice to come through in your paper, even though it's a research paper and you're gathering all these sources and bringing them in. It needs to be your voice that's coming through. So play around on this website, dig around a little bit, make sure that you have the in-text citations correctly. Nobody's asking you to memorize all of these APA rules. That's not really how this works. It's just that you need to be able to know where to go back, find the rules, and integrate them properly. The last thing you need to worry about is your reference page, your reference list. Click on basic rules here and you can see guides for it, how to format your reference page, or if we go to if we go back to those sample papers, we can probably see their reference page at the end. So if we scroll down on this student paper, for example, hopefully, yeah. So if we scroll down on the student paper, maybe we can make this large. Yeah, we can see their reference page. Notice that they just in bold have the word references. And then in their sources are listed in alphabetical order by the first entry, authors' names, year of publication, title of the source, a larger container of the source, in this case, a journal, all relevant information, right? I'm not super like nitpicky. I mean, if there's slight missteps, little punctuation things, that's fine, but you should have this general format for all of your sources. Okay, that's the assignment. I hope that helps some. Again, I'm sorry to make this video kind of late in the day or late in the game. Couldn't really talk until like yesterday or today. That's it. If you have questions, please email me and I'll be happy to help.